Okay, so I start out as white. I play the King's Gambit. He allows me to take back the F pawn here, which is very bad. A lot of times they want to take the knight because then you're not defending the d4 square. So I defend the d4 square. It's completely logical. And then I make sure my knight's defending my knight. Now, at this point, I probably should have developed a little bit more. Maybe bring my queen to c2. It's generally what I do. But I want to debate him into taking my knight. It's very risky, but I could take back with the queen or the knight. But I decided I want to open up the G file for his king. Now, whenever I do this, it's a very bad move, actually. They always do the same thing. They attack your bishop. I bring my bishop back because I want to stop his knight from coming in. Now, generally what they'll do is they'll put you in check and you just can't stop it. But he's going to attack my h3 pawn, which is, I'm happy to see that. So I'll just get my queen out of the way so I can castle manually or just automatically if I can. And he allows me to castle, actually, which I was very happy to see. Now, he's going to bring his queen back. He's just playing mostly with his queen, it seems like. Just a lot of queen moves. So I sacrifice this bishop with the idea that, first of all, he has no tricks to get his knight out of here because I just take it with the bishop. So he has to pretty much take it. And then I win the knight. He takes on a2. I double up on the h file. And at this point, I'm very happy to just move my bishop back on b1. My bishop is still just as useful on b1, attacking his king. It doesn't stop attacking just because it's pinned. So at this point, he pushes the h6 pawn. And I go for an idea like I'm going to take this h6 pawn. You can't take back because my queen is pinning you. And he brings his king out. And like I said, I can just push this pawn because this bishop is still just as useful. Even if it's pinned, it still works. So, I mean, whatever he does here, you can block with the pawn. But I mean, and at that point, I'm sure there's a checkmate in there somehow. But he moves back, which allows me just to checkmate him. You can just sacrifice this the rook, and both the G and the H files are attacking his king. So that's why I really opened up those H and G files early on, even if it was a little risky. I know my opponent's only rated 1350, so I'm not afraid of being put in check a little bit here and there. So that's my first game. So I played against this guy, Pangriji. What is this? I think my first game against him was my first game. So I do this idea I've seen on Eric Rosen's channel is you push this pawn and you pre-move e2. You do it as a pre-move. That way it looks like a mouse flip. If they take it, you can take on the F file there, and you're gonna win the queen. He can't move back on the D file here because your queen is there. So he has to take your bishop. That's his only move, and then you win his queen. So that's my game against that guy. And this is the last game today. My opponent is playing the Scandinavian. Or is it the Scandinavian or the Sicilian? I think it's the Scandinavian. So I play this, what is it called? Oh. I'll have to check. The Lionheart Gambit. The Leonhardt Gambit. And that's the Leonhardt Gambit is just pushing H or H. It's not H. It's B4. That's just the whole. That's what it's called. And I'm not sure what this trap is called. So you bring your knight out attacking the C pawn on C7. A lot of times they bring their queen back, defending it, and then you bring your bishop out, attacking this king. Now, if he's not careful here, he should probably just block it or defend his queen. Right now, his queen's not defended, so if he's not careful, he's going to attack the knight, and that's when you sacrifice the bishop. Now, he's still not in trouble here. If he just moves back on the d file on d8, he's perfectly fine here. He's just down a pawn, you know. But if he accepts the bishop, you're going to put him in check. If he pushes this pawn, he has several options here. He can move his king out, at which point you just put him in check and you don't lose your knight, which is nice. But if he pushes this pawn, you have to sacrifice your knight to win the queen. So that's one trap you got to be aware of if you play the Scandinavian.